20. Worst cheaters in R&B history. Welcome to Black Excellence Legends. We often worship the voices that taught us how to love, but what happens when those same icons master the art of betrayal? Behind the multi-platinum hits and smooth melodies lies a haunting reality of shattered vows, public entanglements, and fractured families. From high-stakes hotel scandals to the cold abandonment of biological children, the history of R&B is written in the ink of broken trust. We are peeling back the velvet curtain to expose the moguls and crooners who played with hearts as skillfully as they played with notes. Don't miss a single beat of this deep dive. Subscribe to Black Excellence Legends now and hit the notification bell. Which of these icons do you think crossed the line beyond redemption? Tell us in the comments. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye remains a quintessential enigma of R&B, a man whose divine vocal range was matched only by the chaotic turbulence of his domestic life. To understand the gravity of his inclusion in this list, one must look past the smooth veneer of "let's get it on" and peer into the legal and emotional wreckage of his first marriage. Gaye's union with Anna Gordy, the sister of Motown founder Barry Gordy, was a volatile fusion of professional ambition and personal resentment. The marriage was plagued by Gaye's chronic firing, a trait he often struggled to reconcile with his deeply religious upbringing. The climax of his infidelity-driven saga occurred during their 1976 divorce proceedings. In a move unprecedented in music history, Gaye was ordered to pay Anna a settlement of $1 million. Lacking the liquid assets, he struck a unique deal. He would record a new album and hand over the first $295,000 in royalties, plus an additional $35,000 up front. The result was the 1978 double album, Hear My Dear. Instead of a standard collection of hits, Gaye delivered a raw, vitriolic, and painfully honest autopsy of their marriage. He didn't just pay his debt, he weaponized his music to chronicle his own strain and Anna's perceived shortcomings, nearly facing a defamation lawsuit in the process. Even after the dissolution of his first marriage, the cycle of betrayal continued. His subsequent relationship with Janice Hunter, who was just 17 when they met, was marred by betrayal and faithfulness and drug-fueled paranoia. While Marvin's voice could heal an issue with what's going on, he couldn't heal the fractures in his own bedroom. His life serves as a somber blueprint for the tortured artist trope, with a very sensitivity that allowed him to craft the world's greatest love songs and made him incapable of maintaining the discipline required for monogamous and stable reality. Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown, often hailed as the king of New Jack, stands as a monumental figure whose professional brilliance was frequently eclipsed by a personal life defined by chaos. Rising to superstardom as the breakout soloist of New Edition Brown, transformed the R&B landscape with his 1988 diamond-certified masterpiece, Don't Be Cruel. However, beneath the swagger of My Prerogative lay a cycle of impulsive decisions and high-profile infidelities that would eventually cement his reputation as the genre's original bad boy. Brown's narrative is one of immense talent battling deep-seated demons, where the spotlight acted as both a pedestal and a trigger for his most destructive habits. His most scrutinized era was his 15-year marriage to the legendary Whitney Houston, a union that captivated and concerned the world. In his 2016 memoir, Every Little Step, Brown was startlingly candid about the mutual betrayal that ravaged their relationship. He admitted to multiple affairs, even naming global icons like Janet Jackson and Madonna as flings that occurred either just before or during his time with Houston. Brown often described himself as a sex addict during his peak, famously stating that the constant temptation of fame led him to bite the hook of infidelity. While he claimed that Houston also engaged in her own shares of cheating with producers and artists, the cumulative effect of their mutual unfaithfulness, compounded by severe substance abuse, turned their home life into a capital fixture. Despite the turbulence, Brown's musical legacy remains undeniable. He pioneered a fusion of hip-hop grit and soulful harmony that paved the way for every R&B star to follow. Yet his story is also a somber, cautionary tale about the toxic intersection of addiction and ego. From being kicked out of hotel rooms after heated arguments with Janet Jackson, to the tragic loss of his children, Bobby, Christina, and Bob Jr., Brown has faced Usher Raymond IV stands as the definitive bridge between traditional R&B and the modern pop landscape. A performer whose technical precision is matched by a complex, often controversial romantic history. While his 2004 opus Confessions became the soundtrack for a generation of heart-wrenched listeners, it also blurred the lines between artistic storytelling and personal reality. The album, which sold over 20 million copies worldwide and earned a diamond certification, famously detailed a man grappling with the secret child of chronic unfaithfulness. Although producer Jermaine Dupri claims much of the lyrical inspiration came from his own life, the public's perception of Usher became inextricably linked to the persona of a charming and flawed lover, whose actions often betrayed his soulful promises. The most explosive chapter of his personal drama is centered on his marriage to Tamika Foster. During their highly publicized 2012 custody battle, the You Got It Bad singer was forced to confront allegations of infidelity head-on. Under oath, Usher admitted to a physical relationship with Maya Fox Davis, who had served as a bridesmaid in his wedding and was a close friend to his then-wife. His admission stating that while he was faithful at heart, he failed in his actions shattered the image of the perfect family man he had attempted to project. This scandal was further complicated years later by a series of lawsuits involving allegations of non-disclosure regarding a permanent health condition, herpes, which led to intense media scrutiny and sparked a global conversation about trust, transparency, and celebrity responsibility. Despite the heavy toll these controversies took on his reputation, Usher's career has remained remarkably resilient. He possesses a rare ability to transform his personal failings into high art, utilizing dance and vocal prowess to maintain his status as a global icon. From his early days under the mentorship of Diddy to his historic 2024 Super Bowl halftime performance, he has navigated the pitfalls of fame with a mixture of silence and spectacular reinvention. Ultimately, Usher represents the duality of the modern R&B star, a man who can evoke profound empathy through a ballad, while simultaneously navigating a private life that serves as a cautionary tale about the temptations that come with being the most wanted man in music. Jay-Z. Sean Jay-Z Carter represents a unique evolution in the R&B and hip-hop infidelity narrative. Unlike many of his peers whose scandals resulted in permanent career decline, Jay-Z utilized his transgressions to facilitate a massive cultural pivot toward emotional maturity. For years, the Empire State of Mind cultivated an image of impenetrable, cool, and untouchable success alongside his wife Beyoncé. However, the veneer cracked in 2014 following the infamous elevator incident at the Met Gala, where security footage showed Solange Knowles physically attacking Jay-Z. This moment served as the catalyst for one of the most significant musical trilogies in history, beginning with Beyoncé's Lemonade in 2016, which laid bare the pain of his Becky with the good hair indiscretions. In 2017, Jay-Z broke his silence with the album 444, a project that functioned as a public confessional and a profound apology. He bypassed the usual celebrity denials, instead offering a surgical examination of his own ego. During an intimate interview with the New York Times, he admitted to being unfaithful, explaining that his upbringing in the Marcy projects forced him into a survival mode that required him to shut down emotionally. This emotional detachment, while helping him navigate the drug trade and the cutthroat music industry, nearly destroyed his marriage. He admitted that the hardest thing a man can do is acknowledge the pain he has caused to the people he loves, effectively deconstructing the hyper-masculine player trope he had once championed. Beyond the gossip, the impact of Jay-Z's infidelity was a literal billion-dollar shift in the industry. By choosing therapy and transparency over divorce, the Carters transformed personal trauma into a joint business venture, culminating in the Everything Is Love album and the record-breaking On 2 tour, which grossed over $250 million. Jay-Z's story is not just about a cheater, but about the structural repair of a legacy. He transitioned from the big pimpin' persona of the late 90s to a figurehead of generational wealth and Black excellence, proving that even in the world of R&B heartbreak, there is a strategic, albeit painful path toward reconciliation and brand fortification. Sean Diddy Combs. Diddy Combs, the architect of the Bad Boy Records empire, has long embodied a lifestyle of opulence that frequently blurred the lines between professional mentorship and personal entanglement. While he spent the 1990s revolutionizing the R&B sound through artists like Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans, his private life was a high-stakes drama of overlapping relationships and public betrayals. The most enduring and tragic narrative of his romantic history was his decades-long on-and-off relationship with the late Kim Porter. Despite being the mother of 3 of his children and often described as his soulmate, Porter's tenure with Combs was marked by a series of high-profile infidelities that played out across the front pages of local tabloids. The most explosive fracture occurred in 1999, a year that should have been the pinnacle of his success. While committed to Porter, Combs began a whirlwind high-visibility romance with Jennifer Lopez. This era was defined by the infamous nightclub shooting incident, which forced Porter to face the reality of Combs' betrayal in the most public way possible. According to multiple reports and Porter's own past reflections, she discovered the extent of his involvement with Lopez through a friend leading her to pack her bags and demand that he leave their shit home. Though they would eventually reconcile years later, the pattern of loving and straying remained a constant theme with Combs fathering children with other women, such as Sarah Chapman, while still being inextricably linked to Porter. Combs' legacy as a cheater is unique because it is tied to his persona as a master of branding. He often framed his complicated love life as a byproduct of a relentless pursuit of greatness, yet the emotional collateral damage was undeniable. His story shifted from the bad boy for life swagger of the early 2000s to a more somber reflection following Kim Porter's sudden passing in 2018. In recent years, his admissions of regret have been overshadowed by even more severe legal controversies. But within the context of R&B history, he remains a pivotal figure who proved that even the most powerful motives cannot outrun the consequences of a fractured life. His life serves as a stark reminder that in the world of R&B, more money often brings more problems than the sanctity of the home. Ray J. born William Raymond Cole Jr. occupies a singular space in the R&B zeitgeist, where his musical output is often secondary to his reputation as a professional provocateur. While his early hits like Sashima One Wish showcased a genuine vocal talent, his legacy is inextricably tethered to his role in the most famous cheating narrative of the digital age. Long before he was a reality TV mainstay, Ray J was at the center of a scandal involving Kim Kardashian. In his controversial book, Death of a Cheating Man, he hinted at a past relationship with a woman he referred to as KK, claiming she pursued him while still married to producer Damon Thomas. This revelation, combined with the 2007 release of their private tape, transformed Ray J from an R&B singer into a permanent fixture of tabloid infamy. His romantic history is a dizzying carousel of high-stakes drama and public accusations. His marriage to Princess Love, documented extensively on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, became a recurring cycle of infidelity claims and explosive social media battles. One of the most glaring incidents occurred in 2019 when a pregnant Princess Love accused him of leaving her and their daughter stranded in Las Vegas while he entertained other women. More recently, the drama intensified when explicit text messages and videos surfaced, allegedly linking him to reality star Suki Hana. Despite these constant storms, Ray J has mastered the art of the pivot, often using his personal controversies to fuel his business ventures, from tech companies like Raycon to new reality show contracts. Ray J's inclusion on this list is a testament to the modern fame-at-all-costs era of R&B. Unlike the soulful crooners of the past who hid their affairs, Ray J's infidelities have often been broadcast in high definition for millions to see. He represents the unbothered archetype, a man who navigates the fallout of broken trust with a calculated silence and clever marketing. While his vocal contributions to the genre remain significant, his story is primarily a cautionary tale about how the pursuit of the spotlight can turn a person's private failures into a public commodity. He is a man who didn't just break hearts, he turned the breaking of them into a multi-million-dollar brand. Ronald Isley, legendary voice behind the Isley Brothers, crafted a musical legacy that spans over 6 decades, blending gospel fervor with gritty soul. However, his personal narrative took a dramatic turn in the 1990s and early 2000s, mirroring the very tales of infidelity he sang about in his Mr. Biggs persona. While Isley was celebrated for his smooth, silk-textured vocals on hits like Between the Sheets, his domestic reality was becoming increasingly entangled in scandal. His decade-long marriage to singer-songwriter Angela Winbush, which began in 1993, was considered a powerhouse union in the R&B. Yet the foundations of that marriage crumbled under the weight of persistent rumors involving his relationship with a young background singer named Candy Johnson. The scandal reached its boiling point in 2002 when Isley and Winbush finalized their divorce. Almost immediately after the legal separation, the public suspicions were confirmed as Isley began a very public relationship with Johnson, who was significantly younger. This transition was viewed by many fans as a cold-blooded replacement narrative, especially considering the professional and personal support Winbush had provided him during his career resurgence. Despite the controversy, Isley married Johnson in 2005. The drama was further heightened by Isley's subsequent legal battles with the IRS for tax evasion, which resulted in a prison sentence shortly after his wedding. Intriguingly, Winbush displayed a remarkable level of grace, reportedly visiting Isley in prison despite the painful circumstances of their split. Ron Isley's inclusion on this list highlights a unique intersection of art and life. He didn't just cheat, he embodied a character, Mr. Biggs, who was often the other man, or a sophisticated player in a web of lies. This blurred the lines for his audience, making it difficult to separate the singer from the scandalous plots of his music videos. While he remains a Hall of Fame talent whose influence on R&B is immeasurable, his personal choices serve as a reminder that the smooth operator lifestyle often carries a heavy emotional and legal price. Today, Isley is respected as an elder statesman of the genre, but the shadow of the Winbush-Johnson triangle remains a significant chapter in his storied and complex history. Chris Brown. Chris Brown's trajectory in the music industry is a polarizing study of immense talent versus a personal life defined by volatility and repeated infidelity. Since his debut as a teenager, Brown was marketed as the squeaky clean successor to Usher, but that image shattered permanently in 2009. While much of the public discourse centers on his legal issues, his history as a partner reveals a chronic struggle with fidelity that has derailed his most high-profile relationships. His romantic saga is characterized by overlap, a pattern where he often navigates multiple women, simultaneously leading to public heartbreak and social media warfare that frequently overshadows his chart-topping releases. The most notorious example of this behavior occurred during his tumultuous on-again, off-again relationship with Carla Chitran. For years, Brown was called a highly publicized love triangle involving his ex-girlfriend, Rihanna. In 2012, the world watched in confusion as Brown released a video titled "The Real Chris Brown," where he openly admitted to being in love with two women at the same time. This honesty, however, did little to soothe the betrayal felt by Tran, who stood by him through jail stints and legal battles, only to discover via TMZ in 2015 that Brown had fathered a child royalty with another woman, Nia Guzman, while they were still together. This revelation was the final straw for Tran, leading to a permanent split and a subsequent restraining order, highlighting the emotional toll of his habitual strain. Even beyond the Tran-Rihanna era, Brown has faced numerous allegations of stepping out of the partnership, including reports of an affair with a studio assistant in 2014 while he was supposedly reconciling with Rihanna. His lyrics often reflect this inner conflict, oscillating between deep remorse in songs like Autumn Leaves and a defiant playboy attitude in his up-tempo tracks. Despite the scandals, Brown's fan base, the Team Breezy, remains fiercely loyal, allowing him to maintain a dominant presence on the R&B charts. However, his legacy remains a cautionary tale of how unmanaged influence and a lack of accountability can turn a once promising golden boy into one of the most controversial and frequently criticized figures in the history of modern R&B. Miguel Jontel Pimentel, a visionary who redefined R&B with a blend of psychedelic rock and funk, presents a more nuanced case of infidelity. Unlike the loud tabloid-heavy scandals of his predecessors, Miguel's history is rooted in a long-term journey of young love fame and the eventual admission of youthful indiscretions. His relationship with Nazanin Mandi was for over a decade viewed as a rare success story in Hollywood. They met when they were only 18, long before the 2010 release of his debut album, All I Want Is You. However, the Sure Thing singer later revealed that the early years of his meteoric rise to fame were fraught with the typical pitfalls of a rising star, including a period where his loyalty to Mandy wavered under the pressure of his new lifestyle. In various candid reflections, Miguel admitted that he had been unfaithful during the nascent stages of his career. He explained that the sudden influx of attention in the nomadic life of a touring artist led him to look outside his relationship, causing significant emotional trauma for Mandy. This honesty added a layer of profound irony to his music. Many of his most romantic lyrics were written as apologies or attempts to reconcile after periods of betrayal. The couple famously broke up for about a year early on to date other people, a decision Mandy discussed on the Ladies Like Us podcast, before ultimately deciding that their bond was worth the wait. They eventually married in 2018, seemingly overcoming the cheating label that haunts so many in the industry. However, the narrative took a final somber turn when the couple announced their divorce in 2022. While neither party publicly confirmed new acts of infidelity as the cause for the legal split, the public's memory of Miguel's earlier admissions fueled intense speculation. Fans questioned whether the foundation of the relationship had ever truly recovered from the initial cracks of his unfaithfulness. Miguel's story serves as a sophisticated look at the R&B cheater trope, showing that even with immense growth therapy and artistic reflection, the ghost of past betrayals can sometimes linger longer than the love that inspired the songs. He remains a brilliant artist, but his personal life underscores the reality that forever is much harder to sustain than a 4-minute ballad. Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight, a multi-instrumentalist with a voice like velvet, has long been synonymous with the perfect gentleman in R&B. For over 3 decades, his ballads like Back at One and Anytime serve as the gold standard for wedding songs and romantic declarations. However, beneath the polished exterior of a 16-time Grammy nominee lies a domestic history that has recently soured his legacy. The narrative of McKnight as a cheater extends beyond simple infidelity. It encompasses a radical abandonment of his past family in favor of another, sparking one of the most vitriolic public family feuds in history. The primary scandal involves his first marriage to Julie McKnight, which lasted from 1990 to 2003. During this period, reports surfaced of an affair with a woman named Patricia Driver, which resulted in the birth of a daughter, Brianna. This act of unfaithfulness created deep-seated fractures within his home and led to a messy legal and emotional fallout. While many artists survive infidelity, McKnight's situation worsened in the eyes of the public when he eventually remarried Leilani Mendoza. Following his new marriage, McKnight began a controversial campaign of erasing his biological children from his first marriage, referring to them as products of sin, and publicly disowning them while doting on his new stepchildren and a newborn son, whom he also named Brian. This behavior has fundamentally altered how fans perceive his catalog. It is a unique paradox. A man who taught a generation how to love through his music is now accused by his own flesh and blood of neglect and emotional cruelty. His biological children have taken to social media to detail the pain of his abandonment, while Brian has remained defiant, often using his platforms to defend his new life at the expense of his old one. McKnight's inclusion on this list serves as a reminder that the most romantic singers can sometimes be the most attached in reality. He remains a vocal powerhouse, but for many, the sweetness of his melodies is now undercut by the bitter reality of his fractured household and the cold finality of his betrayal. Eric Benet. Eric Benet represents one of the most polarizing figures in R&B history. A man whose artistic identity as a soulful, devoted romantic was shattered by a high-profile admission of systemic infidelity. Emerging in the late 1990s with a voice that echoed the classic soul era, Benet reached the zenith of his fame not just through his music, but through his marriage to Oscar-winning actress Halle Berry in 2001. Their union was presented to the world as a fairy tale romance, yet beneath the surface, the foundations were eroding due to Benet's chronic inability to remain faithful. The scandal became a global tabloid fixture when it was revealed that Benet had engaged in multiple affairs shortly after their nuptials, leading to one of the most publicized marital collapses in Hollywood history. The fallout reached a fever pitch in 2002 when Benet checked into a rehabilitation facility in Arizona, reportedly seeking treatment for sex addiction. While Berry initially attempted to support him, the sheer volume of his transgressions, which reportedly included dozens of women, made reconciliation impossible. Benet later complicated the narrative interview felt hollow to an audience that had witnessed the public dissolution of his own domestic vows. However, he eventually found a path to redemption through creative honesty, notably with his 2005 album, Hurricane, which served as a musical apology and a raw exploration of his mistakes. While he has since moved on and found stability in his second marriage to Manuela Testolini, his name remains synonymous with the R&B cheater archetype. Benede's story is a profound cautionary tale of how the pursuit of external validation can destroy even the most beautiful partnerships, proving that even a voice of silk cannot mask the harsh reality of broken trust. Wanya Morris. Wanya Morris, the charismatic tenor of Boyz II Men, helped define the 1990s as a decade of unparalleled romantic harmony. As the voice behind record-breaking hits like End of the Road and I'll Make Love to You, Morris was the quintessential face of soulful devotion. However, the reality of his personal life during the peak of his fame involved a complex and controversial web of relationships that challenged his nice guy image. The most significant scandal centered on a high-stakes love triangle involving two of the era's biggest R&B starlets, Brandy Norwood and Adina Howard. This wasn't just a simple case of unfaithfulness. It was a saga that crossed label boundaries, impacted professional careers, and involved a deeply scrutinized age gap. The controversy began when a 22-year-old Morris entered a relationship with Brandy while she was just 16 years old. Although Morris has maintained in later years that the relationship remained platonic until she reached the legal age of consent, the power imbalance and the secrecy surrounding their bond drew intense criticism from industry insiders. The situation turned from questionable to scandalous when Morris allegedly cheated on Brandy with Adina Howard, a fellow artist on the same record label known for her provocative. This betrayal sparked a bitter rivalry between the two singers, culminating in a public fallout that had devastating consequences for Howard. After she spoke disparagingly about the situation and label executives during a radio interview, her sophomore album was shelved indefinitely, effectively derailing her rising career. The fallout of Morris's actions painted a picture of a man navigating the heights of stardom with little regard for the collateral damage caused to the young women in his orbit. While Brandy's career remained intact, she later reflected on the heartbreak as a pivotal and painful moment. Morris, meanwhile, continued to find global success with Boyz II Men, but the Brandy-Adina triangle remains a permanent stain on his legacy, serving as a reminder of the messy intersections of ego, fame, and fidelity. His story is a classic R&B tragedy where the man singing about one sweet day was simultaneously orchestrating a drama that left his peers in professional and emotional ruin. Fabulous-born John David Jackson has long been a pillar of the new hip-hop and R&B crossover scene, known for his effortless flow and razor-sharp work. For nearly 2 decades, his long-term relationship with Emily B was seen as a staple of the industry, surviving the volatile nature of fame and reality television. However, the veneer of the power couple was stripped away by a series of high-profile allegations that painted a much darker picture of their domestic life. Fabulous's history as a partner is defined not just by rumors of external affairs, but by a disturbing intersection of infidelity and physical confrontation that nearly ended his career and resulted in legal intervention. The most damaging chapter of this narrative unfolded in 2018. Following a period of intense public speculation regarding his faithfulness, Fabulous was arrested after a domestic dispute with Emily B. The incident escalated into a public scandal when a video surfaced showing a heated confrontation during which the rapper made direct threats and allegedly physically assaulted her. This revelation shocked his fan base as it shifted his image from a cool, collected lyricist to a figure embroiled in a cycle of toxic behavior. Reports at the time suggested that the roots of the conflict lay in ongoing trust issues and previous infidelities, highlighting how broken trust in the home can spill over into violent, life-altering consequences. Despite the legal charges, which included domestic violence and making terroristic threats, Fabulous managed to avoid jail time through a plea deal and pretrial intervention. Remarkably, the couple chose to stay together, a decision that sparked a wide-ranging debate about loyalty trauma and the complexities of celebrity relationships. While he continued the early 2000s sensation B2K, has carved out a unique legacy in R&B history, defined by his smooth vocals and world-class choreography. However, his personal life became the center of one of the most polarizing scandals in the genre's history, not because of his own actions, but because of a staggering betrayal by those closest to him. For years, Omarion was in a high-profile relationship with April Jones, the mother of his two children. Their bond was a focal point of reality television, portraying a couple navigating the pressures of the industry. When they split in 2016, the public assumed it was a standard Hollywood breakup, but the real shockwave hit in 2019 when it was revealed that Jones was dating Omarion's own bandmate and childhood friend, Lil Fizz. The optics of the situation were devastating. A brother-in-arms from his legendary group B2K was now in a romantic relationship with the mother of Omarion's children. While rumors of infidelity had swirled during the final days of Omarion and April's relationship, the public confirmation of this new couple felt like a strategic strike against Omarion's legacy. Yet what truly cemented Omarion's place in this narrative was his reaction or lack thereof. While the internet exploded with memes and criticism directed at Fizz and Jones, Omarion maintained a stoic, almost supernatural level of calm. He earned the nickname the King of Unbothered, choosing to focus on his Millennium Tour and his children rather than engaging in a public mudslinging match with his former friend. Ultimately, Omarion's inclusion on this list serves as a masterclass in emotional intelligence within the messy world of R&B. While he faced the ultimate betrayal, the intersection of a fractured home and a fractured brotherhood, he refused to let it define his career. His 2020 book, Unbothered, The Power of Choosing Joy, codified this philosophy, turning a moment of deep personal embarrassment into a branding opportunity. While Lil Fizz and April Jones's relationship eventually fizzled out under the weight of public scrutiny, Omarion's reputation emerged intact, proving that sometimes the best way to handle a cheating narrative is to let the music and the silence do the talking. Lil Fizz, born Dro Pierre Frederic, rose to fame as the energetic rapper B2K, the boy band that dominated the R&B charts in the early 2000s. While he was never the powerhouse vocalist of the group, he was an essential part of the brotherhood dynamic that fans adored. However, his legacy shifted dramatically from teen idol to industry pariah following his decision to pursue a romantic relationship with April Jones, the ex-fiancée of his bandmate and lifelong friend Omarion. This move didn't just break the unspoken code of male friendship, it shattered the remains of one of R&B's most iconic groups, and placed Fizz at the center of a firestorm regarding loyalty, respect, and the boundaries of post-relationship ethics. The scandal reached its peak during the 2019 season of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. For months, rumors had swirled that Fizz and April were more than just friends, but they initially denied the claims, often gaslighting the public and their fellow cast members. When they finally went public with their romance, complete with a televised official announcement, the backlash was swift and severe. Fans were outraged not only by the relationship itself, but by the perceived lack of respect for Omarion, who was co-parenting two children with April. Fizz's actions were viewed as a profound breach of the bond formed over decades of shared success, effectively ending any hope for a permanent B2K reunion and alienating him from a large portion of the R&B community. The aftermath of this betrayal was a lesson in the transience of scandal-driven fame. While the relationship provided a temporary ratings boost for reality TV, it ultimately collapsed under the weight of immense public scrutiny and the inherent awkwardness of the situation. By early 2020, Fizz and April had split, leaving Fizz to navigate a reputation that had been permanently altered. He went from being a beloved member of a legendary boy band to a cautionary tale about the consequences of crossing personal lines for temporary gain. Lil Fizz's inclusion on this list serves as a reminder that in the world of R&B, the most damaging cheating isn't always within a marriage. Sometimes it's the betrayal of a brother that leaves the deepest scars. T.I., born Clifford Harris Jr., is a pioneer of the trap genre whose lyrical dexterity and King of the South persona redefined hip-hop in the early 2000s. While his career is a storied collection of multi-platinum albums and cinematic roles, his personal life, specifically his long-term partnership with Tamika Tiny Harris, has become a public case study in the complexities of celebrity infidelity. For over 2 decades, their relationship has survived legal battles, prison stints, and the constant pressures of the limelight, but it has also been repeatedly fractured by high-profile cheating scandals that played out on social media and their own reality show, T.I. and Tiny the Family Hustle. The most turbulent era of their marriage began around 2016, when rumors of T.I.'s involvement with other women reached a fever pitch. The scandal became undeniable when a video surfaced of the rapper getting cozy with an Instagram model, sparking an immediate firestorm. Tiny, who met T.I., has rocked throughout his numerous incarcerations, famously filed for divorce in December 2016, citing irreconcilable differences stemming from his lack of fidelity. The fallout was messy and deeply emotional. T.I. was forced to navigate the public perception of being a man who disrespected the woman who had sacrificed the most for him. However, in a display of resilience that polarized fans, the couple chose to reconcile with T.I., admitting on various platforms that his ego and the lifestyle of fame had led him astray. T.I.'s inclusion on this list is unique because it highlights the survivor aspect of R&B and hip-hop relationships. Unlike many who split permanently, T.I. and Tiny turned their marital struggles into a brand, using their platform to discuss therapy and the work required to rebuild trust. Yet the shadow of his past actions remains. His reputation is that of a man who demands total loyalty from his family, while struggling to provide that same monogamous consistency in return. T.I. represents the duality of a modern mogul, a brilliant strategist and father figure, who is simultaneously a cautionary tale about how the king persona can sometimes lead a man to believe he is exempt from the rules of the heart. August Alsina entered the R&B scene as a raw, soulful voice from New Orleans, capturing hearts with his debut album, Testimony. His music often explored painless survival and family struggle, but in 2020, he became the center of a talk-about affair in modern pop culture. The scandal didn't just involve a simple act of cheating. It introduced the word entanglement into the global lexicon and pulled the curtain back on the private lives of Hollywood's most powerful couple, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. This revelation transformed Alsina from a respected singer into a lightning rod for controversy regarding boundaries, consent, and the ethics of secret relationships. The explosion occurred during a 2020 interview with Angela Yee, where Alsina claimed he had been in a years-long romantic relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith, which allegedly began around 2015. Most shockingly, he asserted that Will Smith had given his blessing to the affair, implying an open marriage dynamic that the Smiths had long denied. While Jada initially dismissed the claims, the pressure led to a historic episode of her show, Red Table Talk, where she admitted to the relationship, famously labeling it an entanglement. Alsina, who was significantly younger and navigating severe health issues at the time, was viewed by some as a victim of a power imbalance, while others saw him as a homewrecker who broke the sanctity of a marriage for public attention. The fallout was devastating for Alsina's career momentum. While the scandal provided a temporary surge in searches, it overshadowed his musical output, making it difficult for him to escape the shadow of the Smith family drama. He later released the song Entanglements with Rick Ross, which leaned into the controversy, but the move was criticized as a desperate attempt to monetize a painful chapter. His story serves as a profound warning of the dangers of seeking love in complicated, high-stakes environments. August Alsina remains a talented artist, but his legacy is now permanently intertwined with a public confession that broke the internet, proving that in the world of R&B, some testimonies carry a price that music alone cannot pay. Genuine-born Elgin Baylor Lumley emerged in the mid-1990s as the ultimate R&B artist. With his smooth, sultry vocals, sleek image crafted by Timbaland hits like Pony and Differences made him a permanent fixture on bedroom playlists worldwide. He projected the image of a constantly passionate, mysterious, athletic, and deeply romantic. However, beneath the triple platinum success lay a personal life that struggled to balance the temptations of superstardom with the demands of domestic stability. Genuine's narrative as a cheater isn't defined by a single explosive scandal, but by a long-term pattern of admitted unfaithfulness that eventually dismantled his high-profile marriage to rapper Soleil. The core of his domestic drama centered on his 12-year marriage to Soleil Tanya Johnston, whom he married in 2003. Throughout their union, rumors of Genuine's extracurricular activities were a constant fixture in urban blogs. Unlike some of his peers who remained silent, Genuine was surprisingly candid in his later years. In various interviews and during his stint on Celebrity Big Brother, he admitted that his life on the road as a sex symbol made fidelity nearly impossible. He confessed that the constant access to women and the rock star lifestyle led him to step out on his life multiple times. This chronic unfaithfulness combined with the tragic loss of both his parents in a short span created an emotional vacuum that he often filled with the wrong company, leading to the couple's eventual divorce in 2015. The fallout of Genuine's infidelity had a tangible impact on his public persona. While he remains a beloved legacy act with differences, he sang about a song dedicated to the transformative power of love. It began to feel like a tragic irony to fans who saw him lose the very woman he praised. His inclusion on this list serves as a grounded look at the touring artist trope. He represents the many R&B stars who discovered too late that the temporary thrills of the road cannot replace the permanence of a home. Today, Genuine is often seen as a wiser, more reflective figure, but his story remains a stark reminder that even the smoothest pony can lose its way when the lights of fame are too bright. The Weeknd. Abel the Weeknd Tesfaye has built a multi-billion-dollar empire on the aesthetics of debauchery, emotional detachment, and late-night regrets. Unlike the R&B crooners of the past who tried to maintain a good guy image, The Weeknd's brand is built on being the villain of the story. His music, from the drug-fueled haze of Trilogy to the neon-soaked regret of After Hours, often functions as a cinematic confession of infidelity. However, his real-life romantic history, particularly his high-profile ping-pong relationship between supermodel Bella Hadid and pop star Selena Gomez, brought his lyrical themes of unfaithfulness into the harsh light of reality. The most scrutinized chapter of his personal life occurred in 2017. After a long-term, on-again, off-again relationship with Bella Hadid, The Weeknd was spotted kissing Selena Gomez just months after the split. While cheating in a technical sense was often debated by fans, the speed of his transitions and the lyrical hints in his subsequent EP, My Dear Melancholy, suggested a pattern of emotional overlap. In songs like Call Out My Name, he hinted at offering Gomez a part of his body, likely a reference to her kidney transplant, while simultaneously lamenting that he was falling for another or still haunted by his past with Hadid. This cycle of seeking comfort in new women, while still emotionally tethered to an ex, became the defining narrative of his toxic persona. The Weeknd's inclusion on this list is unique because he doesn't shy away from the cheater label. He weaponizes it. He represents the modern starboy who admits that fame has made him cold and incapable of traditional monogamy. In tracks like Save Your Tears and Heartless, he acknowledges the pain he causes, essentially warning his partners that he is never going to change. For The Weeknd, infidelity isn't just a personal failing. It is the atmospheric core of his art. He proved that in the streaming era, being the heartbreaker can be just as lucrative as being the romantic, provided you have the haunting melodies to justify the damage left behind. Who born Jeffrey Atkins, was the undisputed face of the early 2000s R&B infused rap era. With his raspy growl and a string of melodic duets with Ashanti and Jennifer Lopez, he became a global superstar of the Murder Inc. family. Unlike many of his peers, whose names are synonymous with constant tabloid scandals, J. Rule's narrative regarding cheating is a more complex story of a long-term marriage surviving the extreme temptations of the Rule 336 era. Married to his high school sweetheart Aisha Atkins since 2001, J. Rule has navigated a career defined by hypermasculinity and female adoration, which inevitably led to public questions about his fidelity. The most prominent strain on his reputation as a family man occurred during the height of his fame and his subsequent legal battles. While he was never embroiled in a singular explosive caught-in-the-act scandal, like Eric Benet, the culture of Murder Inc. was often criticized for its rock star excesses. In later years, particularly during appearances on reality TV shows like Growing Up Hip Hop New York, the couple was candid about the rough patches in their marriage. Aisha has hinted at the difficulties of being the wife of a global sex symbol, suggesting that the road life involved betrayals that tested the very fabric of their union. Furthermore, rumors once swirled about a supposed involvement with a fellow artist during his peak years, though Ja Rule has consistently maintained his devotion to his wife in the public eye. Ja Rule's inclusion on this list highlights a different archetype, the high school sweetheart survivor. He represents the era of rap where the tough guy also had to be a romantic lead, a duality that often creates immense friction at home. Despite the rumors and the typical pitfalls of the industry, Ja Rule and Aisha remain one of the few lasting couples from that era. His story is one of resilience and the quiet repair of trust between both lovers. While he will always be remembered for his gravelly hooks and his legendary feud with 50 Cent in the world of R&B and hip-hop relationships, he is a man who proved that even the most chaotic modern lifestyle can be anchored by a partner willing to weather the storms of infidelity. Tigga-born Michael Ray Stevenson has spent the better part of a decade at the intersection of chart-topping R&B, rap hits, and high-octane tabloid drama. While his musical career is marked by the club anthems like Rack City and Taste of Bremen, his personal reputation is heavily defined by a pattern of overlapping relationships that often sparked intense public debate. Tyga's narrative as a cheater is unique because it isn't just about simple infidelity. It involves the complicated optics of leaving the mother of his child, Blac Chyna, to pursue a highly publicized relationship with a then underage Kylie Jenner, creating a ripple effect that reshaped modern reality TV history. The most explosive chapter began in 2014. Tigga was seemingly happily domestic, with Blac Chyna having recently welcomed their son, King Kylie. However, rumors began to swirl that Tigga was spending an increasing amount of time with 17-year-old Kylie Jenner. The situation turned into a full-scale digital war when Blac Chyna leaked text messages allegedly showing Tyga pleading for a reconciliation while simultaneously being spotted on luxury vacations with Jenner. This overlap created a massive threat leading to the infamous Kardashian-Chyna-Tyga feud that dominated headlines for years. For many fans, Tyga became the archetype of the man who trades in a long-term partner for a younger, higher-profile upgrade, leaving behind a trail of broken trust and legal consequences. Beyond the Jenner era, Tyga's history continued to be marred by allegations of unfaithfulness. During his relationship with Kylie, various models and social media personalities came forward with claims of explicit messages and secret meetups, further cementing his image as a man who struggles with monogamy. Tyga's inclusion on this list highlights the fame-adjacent nature of modern R&B infidelity. He represents the artist whose personal choices are so inextricably linked to the branding of a massive celebrity family that his music often serves as the background noise to his dating life. While he remains a hitmaker, Tyga's legacy is a cautionary tale of how the pursuit of the next big thing can lead to a permanent reputation for disloyalty. At Black Excellence Legends, we've explored how these icons transition from soulful serenades to public scandals. From Jay-Z's strategic redemption and Tyga's tabloid-heavy transitions to Brian McKnight's radical family shift, a recurring theme emerges: the pursuit of greatness often leaves a trail of emotional collateral damage. While their music defines the soundtrack of their lives, their personal failures remind us that talent rarely grants immunity from the consequences of broken trust. This history of infidelity isn't just